Welcome back. Customers don't speak in metrics. They say delivery is slow or the app feels clunky, and you can't improve clunky. Today, how to capture the voice of the customer and how to translate it into CTQs, critical to quality requirements you can measure. This is the bridge from feelings to data, and both exams test it. Let's build it. First, capture. Voice of the customer comes from listening posts, interviews and focus groups, rich but slow, surveys, scalable but shallow, complaints and returns, brutally honest and free, and direct observation, watching customers use the process, where you see what they never say. 2 exam distinctions. Reactive sources like complaints arrive on their own, proactive sources like interviews you must go get. And customers include internal ones. The next process step is your customer too. Not all customer needs are equal. The Kano model sorts them into 3. Must-be needs, unspoken and expected, breaks that work. Satisfying them earns nothing. Missing them is catastrophic. Performance needs, spoken and linear, better fuel economy, faster delivery, more is better. And delighters, unexpected features that thrill until competitors copy them and they decay into must-bes. Exam trap. A must-be requirement never becomes a competitive advantage. It's the entry ticket. Now, the translation tool, the CTQ tree. Start with the need in the customer's words. Deliver my order fast. Break it into drivers. What fast actually means to them. Order processed quickly, shipped quickly, delivered on the promised day. Then turn each driver into a CTQ, a measurable requirement with a target and a limit. Order processing time under 4 hours. Ship within 24 hours. On-time delivery at or above 98%. Need to drivers to measurable requirements. That's the whole tree. Let me build one for real. I'll use the LeanProjax platform. Here's the CTQ tree for the packaging project. The need at the root, drivers branching from it, and each leaf a measurable requirement, with its metric, target, and specification limit attached. And because the tree lives with the project, these CTQs flow forward. They become the whys you'll measure in the next phase, and the spec limits your capability study runs against. Voice of the customer, wired straight into the math. One discipline before the drill. Every CTQ needs 4 things. A metric, what you count and its unit. A target, where the customer is happy. Specification limits, where they stop accepting. And a defect definition, the exact condition that counts as a miss. Write these down and measure becomes easy. Skip them and every downstream number is negotiable. This is also where operational definitions begin, the exam phrase for everyone counts the same thing the same way. Exam drill. Question 1. The checkout should feel effortless. Need, driver, or CTQ. Pause here if you need a moment. A need. It's the customer's words, unmeasured. Checkout completed in under 90 seconds would be the CTQ. Question 2. In Kano terms, what happens to yesterday's delighter? Take a few seconds. It decays, first into a performance need, eventually into a must-be. Innovation has a shelf life. From words to measurables, that's the skill. Next lesson, CTQ and process mapping. Seeing the process end to end before you try to fix it. See you there.